In this video, we're going to talk about where law firm owners are wasting time. When I first started working with law firm owners, one of the pieces of advice that I got from people is don't do a podcast and don't do video because law firm owners bill in 6-minute increments. They don't have time to consume podcasts. They don't have time to consume video. The truth is that advice was really, really poor. My podcast is one of the best podcasts for law firm owners out there, and it gets a ton of downloads. People are consuming that content. In 2019, Clio performed a study on law firm owners. What they found is that solo law firm owners were billing a total of 2.1 hours per day and collecting revenue on 1.8 hours per day. What's crazy is if you think about how much time you have and what that's going to produce for you, do the math. At a $300 an hour law firm owner, that's going to be $140,000 of revenue per year. To put it in perspective, if you were to hire an attorney in your firm and have them go and work 6 to 8 hours a week performing legal services, you would expect them to produce somewhere between $600,000 and $1.5 million in revenue. What's crazy is that there's this massive loss of productivity when it comes to the law firm owner who is doing legal work. As soon as you understand the opportunity cost of you not being that $600,000 to $1.5 million law firm owner, you will want to address this. So let me give you some tips on how to do that. The first thing that you want to do is identify the activities that are not the high value activities. What are the things that you're doing that anybody else can do and should not remain on your plate? There's 2 ways that you can identify these. The first is to track your day. Take a piece of paper and every time you do something, write it down. The problem with this is that nobody does it. It's like logging your food when you're trying to lose weight. It'll work for 5 minutes and then we're done. So I found a device, it's called Timeler. You can go to timeler.com and it's an 8-sided device and you just assign an activity to each side. And as you move through your day, you switch to the side and it tracks it for you. Use the Timeler to track your time and figure out where you're spending it. Our findings are the number 1 waste of time for law firm owners is email. You will be shocked to find that you are checking your email 50 or more times a day. What's crazy is that each time you do that, it distracts you from what you're doing, takes you out of that, and then you need to get back into it. This is a massive waste of time. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, you're going to enjoy more like it. We're constantly releasing more tips on profitability for your law firm. Subscribe to this YouTube channel to get notified every time we release a new video. The next thing behind email is shockingly legal work. Now, this is a little bit crazy for some to wrap their heads around. But the reality is that in the book E-Myth, Michael Gerber helps us to understand that when you are the owner of a business, you need to step into the CEO role and you need to do things that are going to drive the needle in the business's growth and profitability. And when you're doing the work, you're doing the work of a technician, and anybody can hire a technician. As a matter of fact, in the state of Arizona, a non-attorney can now own a law firm. Imagine if I, a non-attorney, went into Arizona and opened my own law firm. What would the first hire be that I make? I would hire an attorney because otherwise we can't provide legal services. That's how you need to think about your law firm. When you're spending time on legal work, it's preventing you from spending time on hiring the right team, getting the right people and clients in the door, and making those sales and then having those sales fulfilled by others. So if, as you're watching this, you're nodding your head and you're saying, yes, this is me, either I'm stuck in the legal work, or I've already hired a team, but I'm still stuck doing things I shouldn't be doing, we can help you. In our Law Firm Growth Elite Expansion Coaching Program, we literally help our clients step through this process of getting things off their plate onto the plate of others and continuing to grow and scale their law firm, always with profitability in mind. If you want to join or check it out, go to profitwithlaw.com/elite.